you this Friday, May 5th. Welcome to another day of the Daily Antidote of Song. It's day 1125. Thank you, Carolyn, for reminding me. And yeah, it's a beautiful day. Um, could everybody in the Zoom room help me welcome everybody watching on the live stream? Hi, thank you for tuning in. And hello to everybody in the room, including Joe Rossi, who's running tech today and helps keep this program running. Thanks for being here. Brendan Taaffe is our song leader for today, and he has some adorable friends with him in his screen. So hi, Brendan. Thanks for being here. And hello to Sarah Purtle. Welcome. Thanks for joining today. Jim in New York City, hello. Aloysius in Massachusetts, good to see you. And Strange, thanks for being here today. Deli in Silver Spring, welcome, welcome. Pauline in Newcastle, UK, good to see you. Arlene in Berkeley, good to see you. Susan G in Ohio, hello. Laris, somewhere in the UK, I know, good to see you. Beautiful background. Sheila in Florida, welcome. Mr. James Harkless in Silver Spring, lovely to see you today. Hello, Kate in Charlottesville. Hello, Bonnie in Boise. Gary, welcome, welcome. Carolyn in Boise as well. Hello. Storm in Massachusetts, good to see you today. Luda in Victoria, welcome, welcome. Hoda in BC, hello to you. Susan in Seattle. Ruth in Birmingham, UK, good to see you. Kathleen in Albuquerque. Hello, Kathy on Stolen Arapaho and Cheyenne land. Wonderful to see you today. And Anne in Silver Spring, welcome. Linda on Orcas Island, and good to see you, Dan in Vienna, Virginia. Fred in Silver Spring, Mabel in Massachusetts, good to see you with the bear. I was waiting for it. And Bronwyn in Victoria, BC. Harriet Dart, thanks for joining today. Moon Harrison, I know you're in Virginia, good to see you. Dawn in the curly top, so I just see Willard today. And Marcia Dale, welcome, thanks for joining. Jenny in Suffolk, UK, hello. Annette in California. Gaia on Maui, welcome. Caroline in DC. Ralph and Penny in Victoria, BC, welcome. And Lynn in Connecticut. And Bob and Bear in Massachusetts. Thanks for joining today. And I think that's everybody. So wonderful to be with you all today. I didn't introduce myself. I'm Jaden. I'm hosting. It's so good to see everybody. And I'll just go ahead and introduce our wonderful song leader for the day. He's been here a ton. He's a great friend of the Daily Antidote of Song, and he's a wonderful, really thoughtful musician, choral leader, songwriter. There's probably other things you do that I'm not mentioning. You raise animals, which we're so excited to see today. So welcome, Brendan. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, great to be here. Yeah, these are goslings.
Oh my gosh.
They hatched on Monday.
Oh wow. Okay, so they're
very new. They're very new. Yeah.
Oh my God, they're just so cute.
I might have to take a moment to put them back in their normal place, but if they behave, they can.
Do they ever stop chirping, or like when they sleep maybe, or then are they just chirping?
Yeah, they totally. When they have a little heat lamp situation in their brooding area, and they'll take a snooze and they stop chirping as much. So.
Okay. Yeah, they've got a lot to say.
Yeah.
That's great.
Great. So, it's hard not to be distracted by the cuteness, but we'll do our best. So I wanted to do this song today that is part of a project that I've been working on for 7 years, with a poet in Kentucky named Morris Manning. And we're calling it the Bucolics Project because he wrote a book some years ago, 15 years ago, called Bucolics, which is a book of poems that is it's a conversation between a field hand and a divine being known only as Boss. and we've been setting those to music. And the amazing thing about it is that Morris rewrites his poems, which have been broadly lauded. He won a Pulitzer and a Guggenheim, and everyone thinks he's good. But he's willing to rewrite the poems to make them work as song lyrics. And I find usually a field recording. In this case, this song is a bit better known than that. To use as kind of like the bones for the melody of this old song are the bones for the new song, and we figure out how words will work with that. So this text is an adaptation of the poems in the book only have numbers. This is number 26, and we've set it with Jubilee, which is a song that a lot of people probably know. Jubilee sounds like this. All out on the old railroad, all out on the sea, all out on the old railroad, far as I can see. Swing and turn, Jubilee, live and learn, Jubilee. It's that one. From Gene Ritchie, amazing Kentucky singer. So we using that as the base, then we're setting these new words to that. And this is like right at the beginning of the process. So what we're going to do today is just sing it to the melody of Jubilee. Eventually, as I live with it a bit more, the melody, I'm going to, on purpose, let the melody change a little bit. The goal is I want people eventually to hear it and be like, wow, that kind of reminds me of Jubilee, but to not be exactly Jubilee. Today it's going to be pretty much exactly Jubilee. So you're in at the beginning of the creative process. So let's just give it a go. You've got that in your chat, those words. There's a bunch of words. I see a question, are they cold without the heat lamp? I think they're doing okay. It's chilly enough here this morning that I have a fire in the wood stove, so the ambient temperature is good. Toss the stars like clover seeds, sling them through the sky. The stars you sow are there to feed, rising in my eye, oh, rising in my eye. Seed of night, oh, how it grows, gone the light, but now it shows. Forgot to mention I'm going to repeat the fourth line of each verse, but you figured that out already. Let's start from the beginning again, now that you know what it sounds like. You toss the stars like clover seeds, sling them through the sky. The stars you sow are there to feed, rising in my eye, oh, rising in my eye. Seed of night, how it grows, gone the light, but now it shows. You sow the seed that plants the dew to leave the morning wet. The risen sun's comfort true, how you linger yet, oh, how you linger yet. Seed of night, oh, how it grows, gone the light, but now it shows. The single note, chatter songs, what I hear of birds. To tell me now it won't be long, the vision will have words, oh, that vision will have words. Seed of night, how it grows, gone the light, but now it shows. Needle threaded by the thread, I receiving grace. All that once was lying dead is turning up its face, oh, it's turning up its face. Seed of night, how it grows, gone the light, but now it shows. The honey to the suckle boss, you stitch the sticky stuff. All the secret seed you toss, it comes up sure enough. Oh, it comes up sure enough. Seed of night, how it grows, gone the light, but now it shows. When morning breaks, I look upon the finest place I've seen. How the night you planted on becomes a patch of green. Oh, becomes a patch of green. Seed of night, how it grows, gone the light, but now it shows. Seed of night, how it grows, gone the light, but now it shows. Thank you.
Thank you, Brendan. That was so beautiful. Yeah, that's a beautiful song, and I didn't realize that it was to the tune of Jubilee, and then when you told us that, I was like, yes, it is.
There
Makes sense.
is, yeah.
And I mean, it's I was noticing, like Jubilee has a very like it's the same melody, but it has a very different feeling than this.
Mm-hmm.
Because, obviously the words are different, but yeah, that was just it's so nice to like hear that tune kind of have a very different tone and mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think like the words really ask it to have a different tone, you know?
Mhm.
Um, and I love it, like Seed of Night, how it grows, gone the light, but now it shows. I don't know what the antonym is of lullaby, but this is like a waking up song, right?
Yes,
Um,
yes.
of like getting into the day, watching it wake up. So
Yes. Oh, it totally feels like that. Like, could you like how else was kind of the process of taking this poem, putting it to music?
hmm.
How and why did you choose Jubilee? Um,
Yeah, that is the hardest part to pin down of the whole project, probably of like why does a certain poem go with a certain melody,
mhm.
and it's mostly intuition. I can tell you like how this one in particular. I was so yeah, like a month ago, I went on vacation, which is rare for a musician to do. But I went to New Mexico to go hiking, and it was like it did not work out the way it was supposed to. Like I wanted to do this backpacking trip in the Gila National Forest, and there's this 50-mile loop you can do up the west fork of the Gila and down the middle fork, and it was all set. I had planned it out. And I'd even like 2 months before going, I'd called the ranger station in Silver City to say, "Hey, I'm thinking of doing this trip at this time, and I'm just wondering if like is the river high from snow melt? Then do I need to think about that?" And they're like, "Oh no, you'll be fine." So, so I fly to Albuquerque and rent a car, and I drive down to Silver City and get a motel that night. Next morning, first thing, I'm like, I'm gonna hit the trail. I'm gonna check in at the ranger station first and ask about water levels just to be safe. And so I go in. They've just opened up. I explain what I've just explained to you, and they're like, "Oh yeah, let's check." Oh yeah, the river crossings, of which there are like 50 on this loop. They're 4 to 7 feet deep, and the water rate is 300 cubic feet per minute. So that wasn't gonna happen. And then I tried to recalibrate. I went someplace else in the Gila, and like there was my alternate trail. There was tons of blowdown, and I usually can do 3-4 miles an hour. It took 2 hours to do a mile. It was really rough. So then I packed that in and I drove up to the Santa Fe National Forest because I called up there and they said, "Oh yeah, the trails are open." But that person must have been on drugs because I got there and all those trails were closed. You couldn't even park anywhere. Everything was snowed in. So finally, it was the last day. and there was this trail to the San Antonio hot springs. I was like, well, let's. Oh, I forgot to say, I had tried 3 other hot springs up to this point on this trip, and they were like more accurately described as barely tepid springs. So like just nothing is going right on this trip, and but I'm like, well, let's try this trailhead. Maybe this will work out. And there's this beautiful 5 mile hike in, and then this very lovely hot springs on the side of a mountain, and soaked there for a while, and then sat in the sun and read through bucolics, and 26 kind of stuck out as something that seemed possible. And just started singing different ideas and landed on the verse of Jubilee, and um, that's how that one came up.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and I think, sometimes the way that creative choices end up being made we don't know why, or like it's kind of random. And I know a lot of like poets, and I think songwriters, I feel like, talk about this idea of like the song or the poem coming through them, or some, you know what I mean? Like they're kind of catching
Oh,
the
absolutely.
art. And then,
Yeah,
so, I mean, that totally kind of
yeah,
came to me as you were telling that story.
yeah. I think the I mean, sometimes honestly, it's you have to work at it and sit and revise and try things. But sometimes, like the moments that are most precious are those moments of being like a vessel, and just this idea comes through. And like uh, my most popular choral song by far. I could stop at this point, and this song will keep going. Um, I wrote it in 5 minutes. I was on a
Mm,
hike. It just kind of happened.
yeah.
Um, you know, and then there's others that I've really worked at, and they don't quite strike the same chord. So
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like you do a lot of songwriting when you're out in nature, or
hmm,
am I like, yeah, okay.
yeah, totally.
Mm,
Yeah, that's usually a great when I'm home, I have stuff to do,
yes.
right? Like I have stuff to do outside. I have gardens and animals and wood to split, and I have stuff to do inside. I have 1,000 emails I haven't answered. All that, it's
Mhm.
when I'm home, I'm very aware of my list of things to do, and if I'm out in the woods, there's no list of things to do,
Yeah.
and um, and sometimes I'm out on a hike where I'm like trying to cover miles and or get to the top of the mountain, um, and that's one kind of energy. Or like yesterday morning, I've been out foraging for morels, and that's a much like slower way to be in the woods. Like
Mm,
poking and looking, and is that, oh no, that's just a stick. That.
yeah.
So I was kind of making up. Yesterday they were stupid songs. As I was going along, but um, I have a lot of dialogue with my dog in song form.
Yeah.
And those aren't necessarily keepers, but there is one banjo tune I wrote for the ducks.
For a duck.
Yeah, for the I had the ducks. The last batch of ducks were trained to come to the porch when I called, and so I wrote a tune. Can we hear a bit of a stupid?
Yeah, I think everyone would love to.
I mean, in the morning they really revolve around lyrics like "Who needs to take a poop." Uh,
Hey,
so there's a whole like corpus of songs. Um,
I mean, you're asking the important questions.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
who needs to take a poop?
And it's out. The answer is always yes for Blue in the morning. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, any Morel songs?
Any Morel songs? No, I haven't found any this year yet. So, um, yeah.
Maybe
Let's
soon.
see. I did see in the chat people were asking about the banjo. I'll talk about that a little bit. Um, someone I think asked about that. That's just a sound hole. So this is a gourd banjo. Oh, more goslings. This is a gourd banjo, which is the original form of the banjo. Um, there are lots of banjo-like instruments throughout West Africa, the akonting and the ngoni and other similar things that are gourd with a neck and a short string and some number of long strings. And those came over in the, not the physical instruments, but the idea of the instrument in the minds of enslaved people, and then were kind of recreated here. And the first banjo looked a lot like this, and this one was made by Jason Romero. So there's the banjo story.
Beautiful, thank you. And oh, here it comes. That's wonderful. So I'd also love to, or we would love to know about like things you have coming up. I know that you have an album on Bandcamp, and
Yeah.
is this song on that album?
No, because this
Oh,
is
okay.
this is brand new. This is a world premiere of this song.
Okay.
I just got the lyrics from Morris last week. So
Oh, okay. Really, really
just
new.
starting to live into them. But the album on Bandcamp is called Heap of Horseshoes, and it's the only album I've ever recorded where I don't sing. So that was new. And it's all gourd banjo instrumentals with there's some electric guitar and acoustic guitar and pump organ. It's slightly moody. Let's be honest. It was a
Sure.
breakup album. What can you do? And so that's on Bandcamp. And then I do have some singing workshops coming up. And let's see, end of October, doing a workshop here with Val Mindell, and that's up at my Turtle Dove Harmony website.
Awesome.
I think that's request to see geese feet.
Gosh. Well, I definitely understand that. Yeah, there they are. Well, okay, that's great. Thank you for showing off the geese. And yeah, links for the Bandcamp album and the singing workshops are in the chat. And for those who don't know, today is Bandcamp Friday, which means that all of the money from the sales go to the artist, and Bandcamp doesn't take any of that. So today is a really good day to buy Brendan's album, and also the Daily Antidote of Song albums, of which there's 5. And so if you haven't bought those, today is a really good day to do that, or tell a friend who you're like, oh, I think they would be interested in the Daily Antidote. Check out some of the stuff we have going on. So yeah, today's the day.
Yeah, Bandcamp Friday. It should be a national holiday. It's great.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we would love to hear the song one more time. That sounds good. Yeah.
You toss the stars like clover seeds, sling them through the sky. The stars you sow are there to feed, rising in my eye, oh, rising in my eye. Seed of night, how it grows, gone the light, but now it shows. You sow the seed that plants the dew, to leave the morning wet. Risen sun is comfort true, how you linger yet, oh, how you linger yet. Seed of night, how it grows, gone the light, but now it shows. A single note, a chatter song, what I hear of birds. Tell me now it won't be long, the vision will have words, oh, the vision will have words. Seed of night, how it grows, gone the light, but now it shows. Needle threaded by the thread, I receiving grace. All that once was lying dead is turning up its face. Oh, it's turning up its face. Seed of night, how it grows, gone the light, but now it shows. The honey to the suckle balls, you stitch the sticky stuff. All the secret seed you toss, it comes up sure enough. Oh, it comes up sure enough. Seed of night, how it grows, gone the light, but now it shows. Morning breaks, I look upon the finest place I've seen. How the night you've planted on becomes a patch of green. Oh, becomes a patch of green. Seed of night, how it grows, gone the light, but now it shows. Seed of night, how it grows, gone the light, but now it shows.
Thank you, Brendan.
You.
Absolutely beautiful. And yeah, everybody, for more Brendan's music, head to Bandcamp. For more DAS music, also head to Bandcamp today. Joe mentioned in the chat, it's a great gift to give a friend and, you know, kind of show them what we're all about and draw them in a bit, because we're always looking to grow our community here. So yeah, hope you'll check it out. And yeah, and thanks for sharing your goslings with us as well.
Yeah.
Definitely brightened up the screen a bit. That's wonderful. Okay, is there anything else that you wanted to share before we say goodbye for today?
Good on my end. Great to see everyone. Thanks for singing along.
Thank you. Yeah, links are in the chat, and have a wonderful rest of your Friday, everybody. Thank you, Brendan. Big round of applause. We're always so glad when you're singing with us. And thank you, Joe, for being here and supporting us. And goodbye to Jim in New York City. Bye, Anne in Knoxville. Good to see you. Pauline and William. I see you both today in Newcastle. Great to see you. Arlene, lovely to see you today. Susan G, thanks for being here. Laris, thank you for joining. Sheila, wonderful to see you. Mr. Harkless, always wonderful to see you. Bonnie and Boise, good seeing you today. Goodbye, Carolyn and Luda. Goodbye, Hoda. Susan Miller, great to see you. Ruth, thanks for joining. Kathleen, goodbye, and goodbye to Anne in Silver Spring. Linda, lovely to see you today. Goodbye, Dan and Fred. Mabel and Bear, great seeing you. Thanks, Storm, for joining. Thanks, Stelly, for joining. Gary, good to see you today. Goodbye, Kathy. Goodbye, Harriet. Goodbye, Moon. Thanks for joining again. Kate, lovely to see you. And thank you, Marcia, for joining. Goodbye to Annette. Bye to Gaia and Willard. Great seeing you. Caroline, thank you for joining. Ralph and Penny, thanks for being here today. Lynn, Bob and Bear, oh, looks like you're going on a bike ride. Awesome, ride safe. Kevin in DC, thanks for being here today. Liana and Alice May, good to see your faces. Nancy N, thanks for joining. Bob, Gayser, great seeing you. Shazzy, thank you for joining. Linda and Concord, thank you for being here today. Amos, good to see you. And Cricket, we're so glad you're here as well. And Aloysius, drive safe and thanks for joining. And then could everybody help me in saying goodbye to the live stream? Bye. Thanks for tuning in.